We hear a lot these days about trucking and the dangers of who's driving those big rigs down the road, 80,000-pound missiles. And we're finding out that some states like California, Illinois, New York, issuing CDLs, commercial driver's licenses, to people that don't have the ability to read English, who are not in the country legally. And then on driver's licenses, we've seen things that say no name given. How is that even possible? And how much of it is true? Danielle Chaffin is a third-generation industry professional, founder of Highway Veritas. She joins me. Danielle, nice to have you on the program.
Hi, good morning, Steve.
All right, let's talk about the truth of what's really happening in trucking. Look, I know we're short truck drivers in America, but handing
We're
licenses, well, people tell me here in Michigan we're short. Say that again?
Yeah, there's no truck driver shortage. It has been a narrative, an agenda that has been pushed for decades now. Come to find out, we just needed to fill up our workforce with drivers that were not qualified, untrained, unskilled, quite frankly, incompetent truck drivers to be out on our roads to run for very cheap rates.
So that's what it was about. Some of these companies, these road companies, you say they're doing it to boost the bottom line. That's quite an accusation, but that's what you're telling me, isn't it?
That's right.
How did we get here?
How did we get here? Well, after pushing that agenda or that truck driver shortage year after year after year, it actually goes back. I think the first time that we see the truck driver shortage pushed was sometime in 1987, and we've been pushing it since. It really ramped up around 2016. The messaging behind it got stronger, a lot of fear mongering behind that. If we don't have truck drivers, we can't get our groceries. If we don't have truck drivers, we can't get our medicine because trucks deliver everything. So year after year of pushing that narrative, really when COVID hit is when there was a need for more truck drivers, and that agenda finally came to fruition. And we had an incredible surge of new truck drivers, new spin-up trucking companies. And we're at the tail end of everything that happened from 2020 to 2023.
Yeah. So here's the thing. How do we make sure, how can a state like California, easy example, give a license to a guy who can't read English? We've all seen the horrific crash in Florida. He pulls a U-turn on an interstate. People get killed. I think the word you used was incompetence. How do we even allow this to happen? I'm not sure how this person would ever. Who in good conscience could put this person behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound missile, right?
Well, when we have third-party testing sites and third-party CDL schools, that CDL schools or those third-party CDL schools, privately owned, they're pushing drivers through anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. 2 weeks would be fine if you grew up around trucking, if you had the experience prior to that CDL, sure, 2 weeks, and then you have a program where you're going to drive with a veteran driver for months on end. 2 weeks is insane, or less than 2 weeks. Even that is insane for a brand new driver that has arrived in America to be handed the keys to a CDL.
How many?
And those CDL schools are testing sites too. So they just have to take their certificate to the DMV.
How many are out there? Danielle, how many of these drivers do you think are actually on the roads that have no business being on those things that say like no name given? We've seen the IDs. They've been publicized widely.
Absolutely.
How many of these people are out there right now with your family and my family on the roads at the same time?
Yeah, there was a study published last week that estimated 600,000 drivers.
600,000, let's be clear about this. 600,000 unqualified drivers all over America at this moment.
Yes.
So how do we fix this? Give me a solution.
The first part of this fix is to ban or get rid of all of the non-domiciled CDLs for non-U.S. citizens. If we get rid of that, that would take care of 99% of the issue.
Yeah. By the way, I went to Grok real quick. Danielle is spot on. The shortage, there's no shortage of drivers or CDL holders that are willing to drive 18-wheelers. There's a retention crisis in some places, they say, but not a driver shortage. And if there's a retention shortage, it's because these new drivers coming in that can't read English are doing the job at less money. Good drivers can make real money. I mean, if you're a qualified driver at a good company, you can make some serious bank, can't you?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. You can make $250,000 a year. Some of these drivers I talked to that are specialized drivers that move certain things make more money than that, significantly more money than that. Depends on what company you're in, your level of experience too, right? I'll give you the last word because here's my last question. What can Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, do to correct this problem in short order?
Short orders to continue since we're not revoking all non-domiciled CDLs right now, continue the crackdown, I would call it, at the way stations and out on the highway, partnering with the Department of Homeland Security to get these guys off the roads.
There you go. And keep your family, like the one right there with you, safe.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You just woke up.
That's all right. That's who we're trying to keep safe. Children just like that one, and
right.
you too. Danielle, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You come back anytime. All right, so I guess we've been sold a bill of goods. I thought we had a shortage. I bought into it. I never did research. I just did the research. There's no shortage of truck drivers in America, but there are 600,000 unqualified people behind the wheel as we speak. That's no small problem. The tragedy we saw in Florida is going to repeat itself until we correct this problem. And what are we doing to ourselves? And at the same time, they're going to go to the polls in places like New York and Seattle and Minneapolis and elsewhere and put far-left candidates in office who will fight against the idea of taking driver's licenses away from people who can't speak English. Oh, Lord. Well, back at it. Should have stayed on vacation. I'll be back. It is the Steve Gruber Show.